Hello, my name is Amina and I'm your decision-making specialist. And here I am, and let me tell you, today is April 24th, 2020, which means that it is day 39. Yep, day 39. And I am, as always, hoping that everyone that you love and you care about, and as many as possible out there, are doing okay. And sending my really best hopes and wishes to the people who are not okay. Seems so tiny compared to what they're going through. And I really want to honor all of us, because none of us have done this before. Many of us are doing it with financial strains that were never planned, not our fault. And it feels pretty helpless sometimes. And that uncertainty gets so intense sometimes. And the ambiguity of when and how and will there ever be anything like our old normal. We're human. We have patterns. We search for certainty, a certain percentage. We search for a certain percentage of stability, of predictability. Oh, we like variations. We don't just want the same food all the time, or go to the same place all the time, or say the same words all the time. No, it's just that each of us individually has a preference of what percentage of variety we want and what percentage of certainty we want. And those can shift around depending on what's going on with us. So today my offering is, what will bring you just an eyelash more of certainty, even for a moment? And it may be something that you can hold your hands on right now. It may be something that you're hoping is coming your way because it was so wonderful back there in the past. It may be a comfort food. It may be a comfort thought. It may be something that you put on. I mean, have you ever just had a pair of trousers or a top and somebody says, "Oh my gosh, that is really ragged. How come you're wearing that?" You just snuggle up. It's my favorite shirt. It's my favorite top. It's my favorite piece of jewelry. It's my favorite song. It's my favorite piece of cake. It's my favorite vegetable. Yeah, believe it or not, our favorites and our certainty come in all shapes and all sizes. Maybe it's something that you've collected and has an emotional memory tucked into it. Maybe it's a favorite sweater. Maybe it's a favorite program. Sometimes we have a movie, or sometimes a book, or sometimes just a phrase, or a poem, or just a word that somehow just helps us feel better. Maybe helps us believe in hope and magic and faith a little bit. Just something can be big, can be small. And I'm going to show you something right now. Let me just dip down here. These are snowballs. They're flowers. They haven't any aroma that's pervasive. They have green leaves, and the flowers begin green, and then as they open up, they turn into a creamy white, yellow flower until as they mature, they're totally white. And that's their name, snowball. And the fun thing about that is that when they're very young, the flowers are very young and very small. They're about maybe the size of a golf ball and a half, or maybe a little bit smaller than a baseball, or the size of a small orange. And then as they grow, every year, as the bush gets bigger and it's been planted longer, the balls of flowers grow. And I have had mine for 5 years now, and they're finally to this size. And today I discovered there was one that was bigger. So that means next year they're going to be huge. Well, not as huge as my grandmother's, and they're going to be more huge than they started out. So I am looking forward to next year because I want to see those snowballs grow. And the snowballs, and the reason that I got my snowball bush is that when I was little and I would spend time at my grandmother's, sometimes all summer, sometimes a visit, before I left, she would have me hold out my arms. And I was, well, I'm not very tall now, and I was very short growing up and little. And so my arms weren't very big. So what she would do is she would go in and she would get one of her aprons. She had aprons that went over her neck, and then it covered her front, and then there was a tie in the back, and then it hung down in the front. Oh, they were beautiful. I'll tell you about those aprons later. They were lovely. So she would go get one. It was bigger than I was, and she would say, well, hold up the bottom of it, and she would fill that with snowballs and every other flower that happened to be in bloom the day that I left. And I would take those home. I would take home part of my grandmother, part of her story, and I would have it in my house. And my mom would help me find vases, or just, we didn't really have very many vases. We mostly just had jars that my mother used for canning. And so we would get those, they're called mason jars, at least ours were by the company. She would get jars of different sizes, and we would cut the stems and put the water in, and we had flowers everywhere. And somehow, looking at those flowers and going out this morning and seeing my bush blooming gave me certainty. It renewed my hope and renewed my faith that even though horrible, horrible things are going on and we've had an invasion of something that maybe was here longer than we've ever known by the latest statistics. Maybe the first case actually was in February in the very beginning. Maybe it was before. It's just nobody was looking for COVID-19 then. So it seemed like it was just the flu. And now we have more uncertainty. Like, how long has this virus been wandering around? And how really did it get here? And is it evolving? And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying that there is a reality out there. Meanwhile, anytime that you can, exhale. Find what will give you even an eyelash of certainty from your past, from your now, from your future wish. And hold it tightly, and keep it near you so that anytime this uncertainty just spins around and you just feel yourself sinking into that rabbit hole, hang on, don't let go. You're important. And you are essential to this world. And your certainty is monumental. And you knowing how to get a moment, an eyelash of certainty, puts you way above and gives you a story more magnificent than you imagine, a life that you want to live because you know where to reach out and find an eyelash of certainty. Reach out, grab another. If they go away, you grab another. Keep something of certainty in your life. Begin now. And guess what? You can add that to your legacy when you go out. That person, I am, you are a person who knows how to find some certainty and grab onto it and keep it as long as possible. When it goes away, you know how, because you've got a tool of being able to remember and search for certainty. All right, and something I would like to be certain about, and you can, is push that subscribe button, and then you'll always know when there's a podcast. I'm thinking of doing a podcast. You'll always know when there's a video. And guess what? Tomorrow there will be one, that's for certain, because I'll be here and I'll be looking for you. Thanks for coming. Find some certainty. I'm certain that you can. Bye for now.